Can't hear you. I can't hear you. I don't know if it's my phone or
It might be something. Maybe some of my
yeah, I hear
headphones.
you now. I hear you
Yeah,
now.
might be some of his headphones. Could y'all hear me doing the? I had an issue yesterday.
I
I might
don't I
need.
don't think they heard you. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, I'll look back onto the video. So, folks, if you didn't hear me, I might be somewhere on my headphones. It might be going out, so I might need to get a new pair. So put them to the side. But anyway, folks, to as you know, yesterday was the Imperial Classic, and it's very popular show in Spain, and it's one of the few shows that have women bodybuilding part of its lineup. And here we go. We got another one of my guests here, my nephew here, Alex, coming through. Shout out to Alex.
Hey, I can hear you now. How are you doing?
Yeah, I think
Hey,
something
what's
wrong with
up,
my
Alex?
maybe something wrong with my headphones. Maybe they have a volume thing to it. Maybe I didn't. I'll check them out later. So I just need a new pair. But anyway, Alex is here, and also shout out another fellow of ours, Josh. Joshua is here.
We're going Empire Nation. Just want to say real quick,
Power
the Impro,
Nation.
yep, the Pro
Can
Classic.
you hear it?
They were cooking
Can we
it.
hear you, Josh?
Can't. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
can't hear me.
yeah.
Oh yeah. I just want to say the Pro Classic was cooking yesterday. Shout out to all the winners: Vanessa Apple,
Yeah,
Martina
yeah,
Lopez,
yeah.
Julia
Congrats to
Cabral,
Martina.
and
Yeah,
Juliana
I'm glad
Moda.
she's heading
Yeah.
back to the Olympia again this year. Congrats,
That's right.
congratulations.
Yes, Martina Lopez headed back to Olympia. As I was about to post it, like quite a few ladies were very impressive. With bodybuilding, we only had 4 women this year. Some women probably, was going to have Austin Barreto, but she had to drop out due to some family issues with her mother. But the winners, as you know, the divisions I pay attention to is mostly figure and physique, and also women's bodybuilding. And congratulations to the winners. We have here is Julia Cabrabrox. I keep mispronouncing her name because she's originally from Spain. Just got the wrong picture here. Let me see what it is. Look here. Okay, here we go. And here she is. She's from Spain. So when she talks, it's going to be in Spanish.
En septiembre.
Estoy flipando. Estoy flipando.
Ya te lo habíamos dicho, ¿eh?
Buah.
Estaba ahí.
Estoy increíblemente feliz. Estoy en shock ahora mismo.
Se te ha visto increíble. Encima has competido con carne española.
Sí, la competencia era dura, ¿eh?
Estaba muy bien.
Sí. Tremenda. Increíble.
Lo que parecía que no lo ibas a lograr, ¿eh?
Es que había tanta competencia.
Te ha venido pum, y te vas a casa.
Sí, la verdad es que se está dando bien. Estoy increíblemente feliz, en serio. Es que esto es increíble. Me voy a Las Vegas.
Ahora hay que empezar a preparar ya todo el viaje para septiembre, que no queda nada. Y centrarte un verano de ensueño que vas a tener.
¡Buah! Increíble.
Mucha ganas que había de disfrutarte aquí en Las Vegas.
Qué gran cambio hice, ¿eh? Qué gran cambio.
Bueno, di algo a tu familia.
A mi familia y a la gente que siempre estuvo cuando no conseguía nada, que muchísimas gracias, y que esto va por Arturo y por la gente que está conmigo y por los que no están.
Pues
Gracias.
Hecho. Nos vemos, chicos. La primera del día.
Also, winning is another fellow Spaniard, and that is Martina Lopez. Now, man, can I interview with her?
Años, sí.
Era una abusona. Pero este año viene tela. Ya había visto yo algo por internet.
Sí.
Joder, madre, pero bueno. Yo hasta que no lo veo en el escenario no digo nada. Ahora sí que te he visto, te puedo opinar. Estás increíble.
Muchas gracias.
Has hecho unas mejoras muy grandes.
Sí, he trabajado mucho en el off-season.
Pues si te nota,
va a mejorar.
Estás muy completa y sé que este físico en el Olimpia va a estar a tope.
Sí, quiero venir aún más mejor para el Olimpia.
Hombre,
aún apretar un poco más.
Te quedan unos cuantos meses, o sea que no hay problema.
Sí.
Pero la verdad es que soy súper contento. La segunda pase a la Olimpia de este día, Tañolandía, y 2 españolas.
Sí.
Vamos.
Genial.
Increíble.
Genial. Muchas gracias.
A ti. Nos vemos en La Pega.
Sí, nos vemos.
Segundo año consecutivo.
Martina, and also winning in the figure division is Vanessa Hubble, And Miss Hubble, this is going to be her
Congratulations.
photo of the year.
Again.
Thank you, muchas gracias.
Qué bien. ¿Me vas a hablar español?
Un poquito.
Un poquito, muy bien. Tú ya has competido aquí. You are competition here another time, no?
Yeah, I got my pro card here in 2022, and last year I competed here. It's my second ring, yes.
Okay, but this is the first belt.
It's the first Olympia qualification for me
wow,
over here.
wow.
So Alicante is more than a special place for me. And your show.
Talisman.
It is.
I'm so happy because today you are the three pass from the Olympiad. And I'm so happy because you win here the pro card, and now you go to the Las Vegas Clash.
Yes. Thank you for this amazing show, Emilio.
Yeah, it's cool today.
It is.
This is amazing. I'm so happy. See you in Las Vegas.
Yes.
See you home.
Yes.
Okay, Vanessa.
Well, Vanessa did pretty good. This was the first show for the year for her because she did at least 3 shows where she was top 5. But, she pops in and she wins her first Olympia qualification. Same thing with Julia. It was, like I said, from what I saw from bit here, bit there, impressive show. Some amazing, competitors here. Here she is. We had, these were the top 4 of the show. One lady make her pro debut. This is one of the only ladies in the U.S. to compete. And we had a head-to-head between 2 Germans. That's Nina Paulus. She was first runner-up. And then you had women's bodybuilding. You had Branka Djokovic, who took 4th. You had Martina, who was a winner. Anastasia Levinova, who took 2nd. And Haggett, who took 3rd. And I was surprised. I mean, I was most certain I felt like second place was gonna, if anything, I thought most definitely I was hoping for Branka to win. I'm a fan of Branka Djokovic. She has a great physique, great look to her. And then over here in women's physique, you had a very deep lineup. You had Gabriella Ludharten, who just did her women's physique debut at Toronto, got 6th place. Sylvia Martinez, who took 3rd. 2nd went to Susan Matheson. Julia took the title, and you had another lady. I forgot her name, but she's from another country. I'm trying to remember it. The last 2 ladies, they were 4th and 5th. So congratulations to you ladies. You put on a good performance, and again, I'm a fan.
Oh yeah, they were definitely cooking yesterday, and Nikki Bietti, man, she really stands out too.
Mm-hmm, yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good lineup. We got here from man No Dose. It says, "Hi people." It says, now it's okay because he said that. This says, put on the sound. I'm sorry, I think the problem. The headphones. I need to get a new set. They could So anyway, the subject is, I think KL talked about it before, animation and female bodybuilding. I've talked about it in the past too. I mean, we see it every now and then, especially in comic books mostly, and then you see it in TV shows there's that scene in Tiny Toons Adventures. Y'all remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that show.
Yeah, I remember that. Remember that episode where it was Puck Clucky. He was judging the women bodybuilders and stuff, and he had to pick one. And then when he did pick one, the other one got mad and they started beating him up and stuff like that. Yeah, I remember that.
That was hilarious.
And then TV shows like Futurama, Family Guy, American Dad, Simpsons. The episode when Marge became bodybuilder. And
I remember that episode.
Yep, the 300. It's official. Sorry for that, guys. It was the temperature in my phone. You get that feeling when your phone gets charged and the temperature gets up. That was happening. I should have seen that coming.
That's all right.
So Yes, I do find that it's the 300 episode of The Simpsons. Yeah, it was because the only reason Marge did that was because of a couple of reasons. One, she was in that episode she was mugged and she was afraid of going outside, which is understandable. I can see why she wanted to do that. She had a fear of going outside. I mean, I could have felt the same way, being scared of going out because of sometimes it can be dangerous outside sometimes. And
Yeah, but those were pretty much, as society has a view when it comes down to women and muscle compared to what you see like in fantasy. That's what it is based on, fantasy. It is,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Fantasy. Yeah, no, from someone who has went to animation college, I've seen some shows where they exaggerate some of the muscles to, where they, again, for comedic effect, like they did.
Oh yeah.
Some people would like to do that if they view muscle women as a joke or something appealing or whatever. It's kind of a mixed bag when you think about it.
Yeah. Well, cartoons is also where there's a little more freedom to do something like that compared to television, because you don't see women of that level too often. Now,
Yeah, it's very rare to see muscular women in TV shows. I remember there
Yeah,
was some
today it
shows in the
is.
90s. They did American Gladiators. That was the thing they did that at the time. There was sometimes they would do I've noticed one show called Alec McBeal. There's a scene where sometimes they do for an imagination sequence. Like, I don't know if you ever heard the show Alec McBeal. There's a scene where they actually used Nikki Fuller's body and they photoshopped
What are you talking about?
the
Addie,
actress's
Ally
head onto her
McBeal,
to
the
make her
lawyer.
look muscular. Like, that was kind of
Yeah,
it was a great moment in the show.
yeah. It was a TV show called Ally McBeal. She was a lawyer and stuff. He's referring to this episode where she was like a bodybuilder, but it wasn't actually her. It was
Yeah,
somebody
like I
else's
said, that
body.
was Nikki Fuller. Yeah, it turns out they used Nikki Fuller as a body, as a reference for her. They photoshopped her head into it. It was kind of like that. Kind of reminds me of that scene from Pluto Nash when you like Pluto Nash. Yeah, remember that movie? That Eddie Murphy movie that came and went so fast
yeah,
people forgot about it.
Yeah, I forgot about that movie. Good thing you
yeah,
mentioned that.
yeah,
But
yeah. I remember
here's another
Pluto
honorable.
Nash. Yeah, it was
But here's
So
Pluto
you
another
Nash.
good
doing
cartoon
some
days
clips
to
though, like with the animation, George? I mean,
What?
no, I'm saying like,
What?
are you gonna show like clips or
Yeah,
footages
well,
of him?
let's talk first. Then we show the clips. Okay, calm
yeah.
down.
There's this a
No,
content
I'm
creator
just
by the
No,
name
no,
of
asking
no.
you. That's
I got
Gawar.
another good
He
show.
not a big deal, bro.
I'm just
I,
saying.
I got
you
another.
know,
Oh
I'm
my
just
god.
saying. I just found this content creator named Gawar. Gwahar. This content creator has lots of clips from cartoons, movies, video games, and anime, or music videos that involve edited clip involving the muscular. Where even when it's less than a few seconds, it truly depends on the scene and such.
well, as you know, I pulled up. As you know, I'm right here sitting here. I'm pulling some clips now. Give them home. Pull the clips because sometimes you got to be careful with YouTube. You can't show too much of
Yeah.
stuff.
Some of his videos were removed due to copyright reasons. So you might know
Mhm.
some of the numbers are out of order. Like some were re-uploaded, some were taken down. You'll see what I mean. Oh,
Yeah.
that's not official. That's actually a fan made one actually.
Yeah, fan made stuff is easy to show because they're not gonna sell too much. And this is Ahsoka, from the Star Wars series. Here she is. And she just transforms and she gets the lightsaber and then she gets the other lightsaber. Yeah.
I think I've seen this before. Like, didn't that other kid that you and this other kid did this covered this before?
Yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
familiar. Yeah.
And here's this one. This is one of the famous with Marge Simpson. We talked about. She got robbed. Oh, poof.
Yeah, they're fast forwarding the clips from the entire episode and getting straight to the point.
Another episode. It was like there's a part in where they have a sign where a bodybuilding show. You got to be careful because it be old because But it was a funny episode. I mean,
Yeah.
And like I said, this was actually the 300 episode. I double checked.
You guys remember the cartoon Bill and Ted? There's a female bodybuilding that one.
Yeah, that was actually a good one. Yeah, I thought that was a. Yeah, I think that was a good satire on making Venus de Milo muscular. That was a pretty funny idea for subject matter for something that's Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
Because that was a character that Jim Carrey played on Living Color. Venus de Milo.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness, yes. I think Jim Carrey's character at the time might have made a little when I'm. You know what I mean.
It's just another. I mean, she's just like a regular. She's shooting up steroids, and then it's going. I said earlier, exaggeration of how they say that. Oh, you shoot steroids, you get all big and muscular. It doesn't work like that. It's not as simple as that.
Yeah, this is a sequence from a documentary about American Gladiators. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it.
But like I said, that's the thing about it because it's easy to betray the idea that real muscle is something, entertaining. From the standpoint of somebody who is not a fan of it as much, but they look at it because the fact is, it's the idea of, it's one thing with men. Men get that allowance to get big muscular. Women don't get that same thing. And then you see it in cartoons, it's entertaining. It's funny, it's interesting. Like the episode with when I think when Lois went to prison and she came back, and she's like one part where she's really jacked and she takes the cabinet and put it in the door and it tells Peter to put his hands on the headboard.
There was another episode where Lois became buff, and it was from a pedal-on like machine that the family gave her for Mother's Day, and she instantly got buff within hours. Like that was, and which led to a very let's just say someone in the family became attracted to her. And I don't want to say who it is, but let's just say his sexuality is more questionable by today's standards.
Oh.
What you're talking about? Stewie was attracted to her.
Yeah, he was, because you know how he is portrayed now in the show, and because of Lois' huge muscles, he could, he was trying to, get closer to her, Yeah, again.
Yeah,
really
man. I
depends on the
mean,
characters now. Family Guy really has changed over the years, hasn't it?
yeah, I noticed there'd be like some deviant stuff. I was watching over the weekend. I was watching this documentary about the creator of I know this ain't Female Muscle, but it's animation. But it was the creator of Ren and Stimpy.
Joe,
And there was
John. Oh,
things
John.
that
Yeah, let's not talk about John
yeah,
K. John K's already creepy enough.
yeah, and I just
Is
learned
that bad,
about it. I just watched the documentary over the weekend, and like I noticed that they was discussing how he would put like deviant stuff in the episodes of the cartoons, and some of them sometimes they would approve of it, and there were times they wasn't approving of it, and it was like, wow, it's
I
crazy.
remember
At least Bob Camp was. At least Bob. I would consider Bob Camp to be the real creator. I would know that because he was actually one of my teachers back in college, and he's a really nice guy.
Yeah,
And he
I
was
remember.
that
No
was
joke.
crazy,
Yeah, I'm
man,
not joking.
too.
By the way, one of my teachers in college, he was the co-creator of Ren and Stimpy. Bob Camp. He's a storyboard artist. It's really,
Yeah,
he taught
I
me how to
remember.
story.
I remember when my brother was in college. When Ren and Stimpy came on, everybody would rush to the entertainment center where they had it on the television. Was that they watched it because it was something funny, because especially it was something strange. It was on both MTV and then move over to Nickelodeon. We got some comments here. Shout out to our man Jeff. He says this. Shout out to Jeff. He says, "Hey George, hope you have a great Monday. when is the next Sunday discussion? Well, it's going to be this Sunday. Also, he says, I think we should talk about summer hottest bodybuilders. We might do that.
You mean
You didn't have that.
You mean summer size bodybuilders?
Did we do something similar to that?
Did we?
Yeah,
Maybe.
it's kind of corny, man. Like, no offense, Jeff, but this is.
You know how Jeff is. You know how Jeff is. Says, I like oil and Betty Boop. People could dress like muscular. Olive oil. She had olive oil.
She wasn't mad.
Oh, I mean, I can't remember back in the old cartoons, Olive did eat spinach, but she wasn't buff. It was like, it was what it was at the time. Limitations. I mean, I think the only exception I could think of was that 70s cartoon by Hanna-Barbera, but that was like a rare occasion.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is from my man here, Jeff. He says, apparently my Instagram has gotten hacked, so I can't talk to bodybuilders. So,
I'm sorry to hear that, Jeff. We're so sorry to hear that. Yeah, I know the feeling. Yeah, I remember how that was back in the time. Yeah.
Mine got hacked, and I just started another one. And right now I have my first one since I got a new phone a while back. My first one, I'm really working, adding more to it, so I have 2 accounts. Shout out to our man BC Royce Art coming through, says, what would you all like to see if a cartoon was made featuring muscular women? Would you all want to see like a female version of He-Man or Conan, or a buff Wonder Woman or She-Hulk or something comic?
Funny you mentioned.
Let me go first on this one.
There was actually a clip from the new He-Man cartoon where even when actually did became buff in one episode. It really caught me off guard, and this is actually the continuation of the original 80s He-Man.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What are you going to say, Josh?
Oh, yeah. He forgot Pro Stars. They should have them play like superheroes and like a professional bodybuilders. Ask do they want to do the cartoon, have them do voiceovers, and bam, there's a new generation of Pro Stars like Michael Jordan, Wayne Gretzky, and Bo Jackson, but with emo bodybuilders. Pick 3 of them. Have Natalia Quayle, who else? Andrea Shaw, and I don't know who.
Well, I mean, that depends how they would feel if they would feel comfortable behind a microphone, reading off a script, and
But I think that will help them out, because the fact is, we talk about how some of these ladies. Shout out to a man. I'm surprised that here, Raheem Hamilton. I talk about how some of those ladies need to get themselves out there more. If somebody could do like an animated little series, it's always putting some out on these networks. Like, what do you about to say?
Say what you got to say. I'll follow that up. Yeah, there was this guy that I interviewed a while back, and he did like an animation series. He's from the UK. And he's on Instagram. I'll probably send him some. But anyway, he did like a animation series about these 2 bodybuilders. One is a man and one is a woman. And so like a lot of times, he would like post like certain I don't know if he was trying to get the green light for it, but he did like some animations on it, I just wanted to share that.
I know you talk. Yeah, I actually seen those. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I've seen his clips. They actually look pretty well. Again, they're a bit exaggerated, but I can tell where he's coming from. He looks like he's trying to make it as authentic as possible.
Yeah, that thing is, I don't know if it like where he's taking it, so that's why I'm kind of like stumbling on like where it's going now, because I haven't really been following him. I wasn't really following him on it, so that's why, but I did talk to him before, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think it's something different, especially when it comes to entertainment. When you take a woman and transform body to something that's muscular, huge. And some people may not like it as much. Some people will like a little more. And again, it is entertainment. But if it's something that you don't prefer, you don't like, hey, if you can think of any kind of superhero, especially female superhero, that was muscular? Who is the first person that comes to your mind?
That's a good one.
Maybe She-Hulk or Wonder Woman. I mean,
Yeah,
Wonder
She-Hulk's the
Woman
very first
wasn't
one.
as bulky like
Yeah,
that,
I
but
agree.
I
She
think she
called. Yeah,
kind
she would be
of.
the first.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's some comments here. Shout out to my man here. Jeffy says, I've seen female bodybuilders besides American Gladiators on game shows. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Also,
Oh
that,
yeah.
also one woman would be cool muscle. Yeah. And sometimes comic one woman has good defined muscle, but then you go back to the movie, everybody looking at Gal Gadot. She's kind of a little leaner, a little more athletically built, but not as muscular. Also, he
Yeah.
says this. I think the Looney Tunes did something with muscular. Yeah, we talked about that. Also, it says I did get to see the TV show that would you do? Yeah, and also he says, everyone says this. My birthday is the 1st 11th of 2026. Congratulations, happy birthday! So that's all the way in September. Nope, September.
Yep, September. Yeah, September.
What do y'all remember? What was the first show you saw that featured a female bodybuilding image? Is animation or just in the comic? First show you think of?
Looney Tunes.
Tiny Toons. I think you're
I
referring
mean,
to
Tiny Toons and Tiny Toons.
What
Yeah.
you can?
I don't know. I want to go back a little bit, like Giganta from the Super Friends. I don't know if
Okay.
she'd be considered as a body muscle woman of muscle, but she would get huge and stuff. So I don't know.
I mean, I guess, but she wasn't like didn't have much visible muscle. She had more like an athletic build. Like again, it was like back in the '70s, back when it was just limitations of the body. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah,
how.
because
That's what I picked. That's what kind of makes me go back. So to each his own.
I think you really start seeing to maybe to about maybe the '80s. When they put more into it. Like one movie, if you think about a movie called Heavy Metal. If you ever saw
Yeah.
that movie, it's a
Yeah, I've seen
classic.
it.
Yeah, and there's a scene that the heroine was very fit. I wouldn't say at the level of female bodybuilder, but very fit. She's the one that was riding that flying the looked like a kind of like a pterodactyl kind of
I
thing.
didn't see that movie. I
That
gotta
was like
check
that
that
was like
out.
the last segment of the movie.
Yeah, I gotta check.
You should check it out. It's a decent movie. It starts off with a lot of little crazy little things going on through it, and then you get to that part with her towards the end. And and it's a follow a little girl to this crazy house, and then at the end she gets out of the house and she's riding that same creature that she rode in the movie. I remember South Park did a thing like it, but it was a chick with huge boobs.
Yeah, South Park recently created a character called Strong Woman who was married to PC Principal.
Yeah, I remember that. There was an episode where she had an ex-boyfriend who was kind of like the macho man, and he was competing. Yeah, he's competing in the women's thing. Well, I'm hearing some. Yeah, here's some. Yeah, might be some nice. But yeah, it's funny. Here, shout out to my man here. It says, "Did you get to see what you do on Nick TV? What was that show? I think no, there were so many shows on Nickelodeon. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also says, I think female bodybuilders should be able to perform in movies too if they wanted to. One thing goes back to scripts, and you got to go out to Hollywood and to test a screenplay, and also you need to know how to act. It's
Yeah, gotta have acting skills.
Only 1% of people who get that opportunity. You see a lot of actors, but most of them are just struggling. Trying to pay the bills and have jobs. If you're lucky, if you get a deal on a movie or a TV show or something, but generally that's just a lucky few. Also, shout out to the man. He says, like I ever make a movie would want female bodybuilders. Like if you could make a movie, and who would you want to be in your movie?
What about Love Life Spleen? That came out some time ago. I remember seeing that was about women's bodybuilding.
If you could make a movie featuring female muscles, who would you want in it? KL.
I don't know. Nobody's not coming to my mind right now.
What you, Josh?
Oh, I definitely got to add your girl, Andrea Shaw and Natalia Quayle, my two main characters in the movie. What about you, Alec?
I mean, yeah, I can go with Natalia Quayle. She does like she has potential. I don't know about Andrea. Maybe she's made it will be difficult for her to maintain her training and keeping the Olympia title while trying to have an acting career. So, I mean, I know other bodybuilders at the time went into acting. I know Corey Everson did. I know Kim Savetsky did in that one movie. I remember who else? I know Tegan Clive, her name was, I believe. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tegan Clive. Alienator, remember that movie?
I never saw that little budget movie. But I do know.
That's exactly what it is.
I know. Actually, I remember Haley Trevino actually made a cameo in an Adam Sandler movie. She was a background character, believe it or not.
Well, I remember Tegan Clive was a movie called Armed and Dangerous with Eugene Levy and John Candy, and she was like she was like one of the trainers at a gym, and also she had a couple other movies here and there. If you know, also recently, a lady who I follow, Chelsea Dion, is doing a documentary. If you have heard of it, Erica Deer and another lady are doing a documentary. This is about women bodybuilding. She just posted
Body Electric. Yep.
Yeah, Body Electric. Just posted. Supposed to be I think they had a showing in Vegas.
Guys, we are just a few days away from the Las Vegas premiere of Our Body Electric, which was a documentary that myself, fitness legend Ariel Kadar, and Miss Prodigy herself, Amanda, were so lucky to be a part of. And I cannot wait for my Vegas friends and family to all be there. It is going to be premiering at the Palms Casinos movie theater, and it's going to be from 3 to 5 p.m. And afterwards, we're going to do a live Q&A so we can talk more about the film. And if you are a friend of mine, if you support female bodybuilding, any category at all, and you live in Vegas, please, I'm begging you, please come to the premiere and support. We would all really appreciate it. And if you need tickets, shoot me a DM and I will get you the link. And I will see you at the premiere of Our Body Electric.
Well,
what's up, guys?
What I see is a decent.
He said all the division.
Nice.
She talk like do you consider fit model too?
Oh no.
She consider fit model. She said all the divisions.
No, it's gonna be just
bikini. What about bikini?
Not bikini. It's mostly going to focus on.
Only have one debut.
You got this
one
here.
First.
American Deer.
Oh, that's cool.
This is the focus on them.
Yeah, I like the fit division. Like, what's her name?
That's Ariel Kadir. She has been multi-time. Ariel Kadir. She has been multi-time Arnold Classic winner. She's been a top, 3-5 Miss Olympia fitness competitor. She took a step back some time ago because I think she was dealing with some issues. Here's also a little clip from it.
Bodybuilding shows all over the world generally follow the same set of rules. Each division has different criteria, but judges generally score competitors according to a balance of size, symmetry, and muscularity. After competitors are assessed individually and in small groups, they are called out for group comparisons. The numbers called in the first call out usually make it to the top 5. Those top 5 finishers take home a cash prize, and the first place finisher leaves with an Olympia qualification.
that was Linda Murray. You recognize the voice. She's a legend in the sport. Shout out to my just got some news. My dear friend Eunice Martinez and her partner Jolene are going to be helping sponsoring women's bodybuilding at the Atlanta Pro this summer. It's 7 weeks out. That's great news. They need that help. They need that opportunity. We have some comments here. This is from my man. He says this. Man, DJ says, George, I will join you next Monday, KLA at the Wanderer and Alex and Josh. Okay, cool. Also,
Okay.
he says, I have seen a lot of Disney characters like Mickey on Goofy or Goofy being bodybuilders. Oh yeah, there's that one girl from the movie. What's the movie name?
Encanto?
Yeah, Akanta. And
Oh, that's
she.
it. I want to talk about that for a moment because I know they're gonna bring that up. I know one of you are gonna bring that up. Believe it or not, one of the main characters' sister, Lisa, was supposed. She was originally not gonna be muscular. The executives at the time didn't. They wanted the character to be super strong, but Disney stuff just didn't. Were not sure about because they figured it wouldn't affect the merchandising. But after convincing them and talking about the character and such, they're saying, "Okay, do what you want, but." Let's see what the kids have to say. And then after the movie came out, people were like, "Oh my god, I like this character!" They got the toys out of her, and now the character's a meet and greet at Disneyland, and people are like, "Well, I'll be darned." Yeah,
There you go.
talk about a character that almost never made it.
Successful.
Given her that she has super strength, it does make sense why they designed her like this. Like clearly, she has a bigger upper body if you compare it to an actual bodybuilder's physique, and yeah, it really shows that emphasis on the character skipped, and that's acceptable. I can see where they were going with it, and I'm okay with it. I'm actually glad Disney is allowing a character managed to pull out a character like this in mainstream media nowadays.
Yeah. We got some comments here. Shout to my man, BC says, don't forget about Mighty Mom from Fairly Odd Parents. She was huge. Yeah, I remember Fairly Odd Parents.
Yeah, Mrs. Turner.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
there was a couple episodes where she and Mr. Turner did become muscular as superheroes. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I will give the show this. Butch Harmon at least knows how to create a He was a comic book nerd back then, so as also a Star Wars fan. So at least he knows where he gets his inspiration for superheroes. I think he did draw muscular women pretty decently. Like he had knowing his geometrical shapes and such.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of young men coming up had seeing some women like that can be different. You can either have one reaction, you can like it or not like it. Like I'll pull this quick picture. I went to, like I said, I don't want to pull too much videos because I gotta be careful with IG's on, YouTube's on. If it's hey, YouTube's on but all about stuff like that. But here's a one I pulled up, and you remember this is from the episode of Family Guy with Francine.
No, that's American Dad.
American Dad. Okay, American Dad. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, I forget that about but it was a fun episode. I remember also Roger the Alien. he became a female body because him and Stan were partners. Here it is. He's right there. That's Roger.
Well, Roger's easily like he's like one of the best characters of the show because while he plays an alien who's hiding from the public, plus he doesn't want to get experienced. He's best known for having a different life of different personas, and Tammy Two-Piece is one of them.
Yeah, you even had the breast implants, but it's it's a funny episode. Also the show I used to remember. It was on back in the day. I gotta find it. It was called Totally Spies, and they did kind of episode where
it was an interesting episode. Basically, an Arnold type parody. A parody of Arnold was trying to create these protein bars to make professional bodybuilders ultra bulky so they could become like savage. So that way he could become the new champion.
Alex, Alex, you're going in and out. Alex, I can't hear you going in and out. Yeah, something wrong with your, if you maybe think you meant something, you got some issue. We got here, shot to Emmanuel, coming through, it says, with female muscle and animation, you have to be careful. If young boys see that, they would be attracted to it, but it could develop into a unhealthy fetish if it goes too far from them in the future.
Yeah, that's a very deep comment. He said, I remember one time I was at the library and I was like, I had a thing for Yeon Woo Ji, this Korean bodybuilder. I was doing on Photoshop, and there was this kid next to me, and he kept looking at it, like he kept looking at the picture that I was doing, and for some reason, I felt funny about it because I was thinking that same thing, what Emmanuel was putting a comment, and I told him like, look, I know she's cute, but don't, because he kept like constantly looking, and so I'm like telling him like, look, I know she's cute, but you can't keep looking over here. So, and he was with his moms too, and I didn't want it to, develop that thing in his brain and stuff like that, because that's how certain things come into your mind and all that stuff, and it's just something to share, because that was deep of what that comment for me. So,
well, I think especially when you're young, your mind's still developing, your body's still developing. You're gonna find something, be it be it just everyday women, how they move or look, be it something you see in a comic book or a movie, you're going to be attracted to it. It's not really much, especially when you are at the point when you're in your early stage of pubescence, especially as a teenager. Boys, we do kind of get attracted to something that's very different. Like, I was just popping around on IG. I found this, and I think you guys might like it. It's a picture of some superheroes. You recognize She-Hulk. I don't know about the other two ladies. And She-Hulk has always been used, because her image is very popular if you look at it. She's Hulk-like, but not the like, as how Hulk gets stronger each time he's and and Hulk gets each time Hulk gets stronger, but She-Hulk, is different because she still maintains her intelligence, but she always uses her sex appeal too. Like, there's a thing where she even had a social relationship with the Juggernaut.
Oh.
Was that a female version of Thor too? Which version of the She-Hulk we're talking about? There's a lot of incarnations of the character. We don't need one version. We cannot discuss that because we already discussed about that already, and it came and went. So,
what about to say, Kia?
Nah, I mean, I wasn't like following She-Hulk like that. Maybe like a couple of comics I may have issues I probably read. But I was sharing that thing what I said about the kid because I felt like I didn't want to be responsible of him like putting stuff in his mind. That's why I shared that. Because I didn't want to be. I felt like I didn't want to be influenced, and he sees that you don't know where his mind gonna be. So that's why I shared it.
Well, that's acceptable, but again, it's up to the parents. They're the ones who, you teach your children, or like you always say, like, if you have certain feelings and you feel like comfortable with it, hey, but also be aware of how far they can go. I mean, we live in a social media, society. Kids are on the internet almost every day. They follow certain sites and stuff like that. Now we put in where it's hard to get to those sites, but hey, kids know how to get around a mousetrap. There's always a
Yeah,
way.
sometimes the parents, that it's so much they can do. Like I had to. I mean, it can you can be influenced by your friends. Especially in school. I remember one time I was like I had to be like in the 6th grade, and this kid was asking me, "Yo, you a virgin?" And I was like, what's a virgin? I'm dead serious. And so that just kind of opened a can of worms. And I remember it was other kid, he was telling me about wanting me to ask the teacher what's a blowjob. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so your friends, I mean, so people around you, especially in school, they can influence you to do some crazy stuff. You know, I was kind of smart enough not to like act, but that my thing is if it's not if it's so the parents is so much they can do. Like they got the kids got to go to school, and it depends on how the kid mind is. So there's kids out there, they got like a strong minded. They're like self-aware. There's kids that may not be. So I mean, yeah, and especially with all this social media stuff, as soon as I mean, it got me hooked on just scrolling to certain things and stuff. In your mind, it gets kind of dark. So that's all I gotta say. I ain't want to keep babbling and.
It's all right, because you know what? That thing is that this is stuff that needs to be speaked on. Because you know what? Cartoons is always been very popular from social media to, as you know, I grew up. A lot of us here, except for Alex, grew up in the '80s. When cartoons were very prominent on television. Television not like it used to be, where more people are online. Then used to be back in the day, you want to see cartoons, you have to go to a movie theater. Then TV came, and now TV has evolved, and streaming. That's very popular. I don't do streaming. I don't watch streaming. I still watch Get Up in the Morning. I still watch old cartoons, and I watch judge shows like Judge Judy or or Hot Bitch. Every now and then I might watch Scooby Doo, depending on when it comes on, and some other stuff. But I think still it's up to the families where everything is at. You can go out there in the streets and hear stuff what people say and what people do, but as parents, if you don't want your children to be stirred a certain way or being in kind of trouble, it's your responsibility to show them what's the right way to do. And also, things have changed. You used to be back in the day, hey, you used to get a whooping. Now you don't get that. One thing, some parents are try to be friends with their children, but it's not your job to be their child's friend. You become friends when you get older, become an adult. You understand what it is about life. When you realize, you understand what your mom and dad did was for your best, for your better way for you to grow. It was tough. It's not going to be perfect. It can be easy influence. Shout to my man here. BC just say this. He says, the image is from when She-Hulk teamed up with Valkyrie to beat up with Hulk. Okay. Also, he says this. I need this with the computer. He says this. He says also there was a comic artist named Paul. Can't say his name right. Who drew She-Hulk, really buff and beautiful. You should Google it. So let me see if I can find it.
Okay.
And also this from Marissa, the access to pornography has made things worse, especially for children, and especially when a lot of female bodybuilders do take part in the fetish content. It can cause them to have unhealthy views of female bodybuilders. Yeah, but the thing is, it's content that's there to make money. And even if you try to hide from kids again will try to get it. Shout to my man here. DC says, I have my buff women art on display when I draw characters at places. Kids sometimes get amazed by them, and I might be influencing a new generation of muscle addicts. Well, like I said, children, children, grow up a family. Children are always going to be curious about something, because something they don't like we see on the average. Like when I do interviews with ladies about when they be out and about and they run up against kids, the kids are kind of curious. They ask questions like, "Are you a superhero?" or how strong you are, because they are so open-minded and gentle. They want to know so much when they see something different. I think adults sometimes are the ones that sometimes they can be assholes or petty or whatever. But there's some adults that say, hey, they respect that what these women do. Even because maybe that's something they will think they might do themselves, but they understand that everybody got to live for themselves. But what's his name again? Let me see. He says Paul. If I can pull it up, y'all guys can talk a good bit and get y'all thoughts about what you see when you look at muscle women animation.
Oh, there's a cartoon named Johnny Bravo who always used to try to holler at women, and there's one episode with the buff chick on there.
Yeah, it was from season 1. Yeah, it was from James Schmo and Arthur, who became instantly muscular after Johnny was like being insulting, unintentionally insulting her, and she was bigger than the average person, like she was the size of the
That was hilarious.
Yeah, I miss Johnny Bravo so much. It was
that was a good TV show.
Yeah.
He was always the fun. He was like one of the earliest. It was like groundbreaking for its time. Like Cartoon Network at the time, there were some adult jokes in there, and they admitted at the time they weren't sure what they were aiming for. So there was a reason why they snuck those in, even though it was clearly going to be aimed for kids to begin with. But still.
Well, I did find Paul.
Police Academy. They had like a version of female muscle. It was like one of the cadets in Police Academy. They had a huge crush on this like wrestler, but she was a slap.
I've seen that clip. Yeah, and there's also
And she was using him and stuff to get certain things or certain information, but she didn't like him, but he was so so he was so addicted to her, to a point where he was simping for her a little bit, and I'm using that word, but the thing, the message that I got with it, it was like that she didn't like him, and no matter how much he was like worshiping her, it was kind of using it was kind of like it was against him. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it was like used against him, and she was taking advantage of him. So
yeah, I remember the episode. It was Sweet Chuck, the character Sweet Chuck. The little short dude. I like the old TV show, old movies, the old classics. Michael Winslow's still around. He started. I think it was an episode of American Got Talent. Because he stepped away from acting because of I think his wife passed away. She got sick, and he took care of his kids, so he stepped away from it. Quite often it was I think I'm trying to remember. It was an episode of.
She was in a couple of episodes. Matter of fact, she's in a couple of episodes.
Yeah,
she was taking advantage of one of the I think the mayor at another episode and stuff.
Yeah. Here it is, the artist that BC mentioned. We just pop on here, see his art. And, it's the Red She-Hulk. That is Betty Ross, who was the daughter of Thaddeus Ross, aka the Red Hulk. This is just a pencil of it. You've ever seen the Red She-Hulk? Yeah. Also,
nice.
Yeah, I think he has some other characters. If I can find them, there's one here. Let's see. He has some lots of She-Hulk. And also this one here, Mira, who is the wife of Aquaman. And here she got Superman by his cape. It's from the Rebirth series that's returned after the what was that? The Rebirth is after what was the comic series? It was like
52, the new 52s.
yeah,
It was
New
after.
52.
Yeah.
They pretty much get back to the old way. You know, I think some people think they like the 52 as much.
No.
Oh wow! Pretty awesome.
They're doing a new. It's a new like an alternative universe. It's called the Absolute Universe, and they have an absolute Wonder Woman. You ever seen her?
Yeah, she was raised in hell and stuff, and
yeah, because her mother was Cersei, the the witch, and she was raised in hell. But this is this version of Wonder Woman really is different from the classic Wonder Woman. Diana of Themyscira, but she's Diana of hell, and it's very. I think it's become very popular, and they even opened up Batman. If you ever seen it, but here I'm gonna pull up here this picture. Give me a second.
yeah, they're different in many ways. Superman, he's different. Batman, he's not a millionaire. He's more of I think he's a construction worker.
More like an underground kind of guy, yeah.
Yeah.
I know there was an animated. There was animated. There was DC superhero girls. They actually had a muscular Supergirl in this one. She was more like the tomboy of the group from that show.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
but this was different. Yeah, even you have here, Wonder Woman's taller than Superman. I mean Batman. She's big.
Yeah, but I haven't read any of the comics yet, so.
Well, I follow Variant. They often, because like I said, where I live, there's not a lot of places to go find comic books unless you want to go 3 towns over. So Variant pops on, and they talk about.
Damn, we got it up.
Yeah, like I said, I live down here. I mean,
I ain't gonna lie.
You got it.
I mean, yo, you probably should go like every once in a while outside of where you at, man, because
I do.
I'll be miserable.
Was it Saturday? My my oldest niece, my youngest nephew, my oldest nephew, and my sister and my other nephew went out and we had a Father's Day brunch together. We went to my nephew's house. Got to meet my new great niece. She's already almost be a year old this year. I go, but like I said, it's not a lot. Where I live, it's not a lot of place to go. Today, I went to my laundry.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe you should go outside a little bit, outside of where you at. You know what I'm saying?
If I have a car, brother, I would, but I don't have a car. And and right now,
all right. I didn't think about that. I didn't think about it. I didn't think about
it. Out here, if you don't have a car, you got to go with Pat and Charlie. And right now, it's too hot.
So you're screwed in a way. So
it's rough out here. Gas prices are expensive.
Yeah. Well,
I'm not gonna lie. Like New York City, it's chaotic. I'm not going. There be moments I don't feel like going out, but when I do, I'll try to go places and stuff. I went to a mini comic book convention like a couple of weeks ago. So
Yeah, well, like I said, I get to go out. If my sister's having something, I go over her house, or if my other sister comes and she wants to go, you guys want to go with her, I'll go with her. Other than that, I'm mostly home because again, I live in a very small town. Not a lot to do other than maybe just to go do your laundry, maybe go shop a little bit, go to the doctor appointment. I mean, not a lot to do. Again, if you want to do something, you have to go to the next 3 towns over because my sister and my nephew, they stay up in Fayetteville. And that's one of the biggest towns near us. Or you might go the other way. There's Florence. That's a good 30 miles away.
I'm taking you ain't never got your car fixed.
I'm done with that car. I'm done with it. I'm not.
You
I'm
can't
done.
get like a used car and like that. Like I don't know. I'm just asking.
What I get on disability once a month? No, it's
Oh, okay. So I don't know.
no. If I'm right now, I'm saving for a trip, and I would tell y'all in a couple of weeks where I'm going because I'm going to go ahead next month. I'm going to put a reservation for where I'm going to stay at, and I will announce. Because
I'm still planning to go to Tampa this year. I feel like it'll be a tradition for me since it's the only contest I can easily afford to get to attend. And this time, I think I want to stay at the hotel because they were really serious this time about using Wi-Fi. Like you need to be a guest to use it. So.
Well, I was lucky for me that there were some people that knew me that were cool that they let me use their Wi-Fi because they gave me the password. So
I just feel like I just want to continue like I did before. I just want to continue my support. I just want to be as proactive as you guys.
Well,
I want to be like you guys too.
You have gone to more shows than I have. I've only gone to 2, and that was when I went to Savannah in 2022, and I went to to Tampa last year. I would think about when Eunice made an announcement about sponsoring Bodybuilding Atlanta. I consider my niece, but then you know what? I want to go this place because it's farther up north, and I've never been. Farthest north I've been is Virginia, and I can go a little farther than that. So that's the plan. I want to go out from. I want to get out of the South a little bit.
Oh, so he gave us a little hint there.
Yeah, I'm giving out the South.
I've been to so it's gonna be out the South.
Yeah, it's gonna be out the South. I've been to Florida, 3 times. That's twice. I went to Disney World. That's Orlando. Kissimmee. I stayed in Kissimmee, not too far from Orlando. And then when I went to Tampa, and Tampa, ew.
You went in the summertime. I can't even imagine.
I'm a big man too. I don't know how Alex, you're a skinny little fella. You can bear it. He says, shout out to my man here. This is for man, Jeff. He says, give us what the computer keeps saying.
I have never been to a show before.
Well, you should go because if you always want to talk. This is only way
bodybuilding. Go there. I mean, I understand it can be a little costly, but you can take the chance. You can just save up, and they'll appreciate your support either when you're physically there or buying the live stream. I mean, I've been buying live streams.
Yeah, I've been buying live streams too.
Yeah, I've been buying live streams too. Yeah. But it's an event you go, to check it out, just to get the sensation of it. There's also a show is going to be here in North Carolina, and I'm thinking about
there you go.
How my financials look after when I go to Pittsburgh. I'm going to check it out because it's only a couple miles, like it's just a couple hours drive from where I stay at. It's in Charlotte. And Charlotte's a good couple hours drive. So I want to see, I'm going to rent a car if I can rent it for the weekend and drive up there and check it out and maybe, get to talk and check, talk to some ladies, make some interviews up in the future, but that's something I'm thinking about doing. Shout out to my man here, Jeff. He says this. This is clicking and it gets slow. There he goes.
George, you should be nominated for award for one of the best podcasts.
I appreciate that. I know there's people that's better than me because but I appreciate that. I just like I say this gave me something to do. Shout out to here. This is his name says yo bro or yo to you.
Yo.
Also, Jeff says I'm going to one in North Carolina. That's cool. You should go. Also, he says we should try to live stream one together. Can the autograph?
From who? From who? Us or the athletes?
Well, you can try.
I think he's talking about the athletes.
Yeah, most of the time you want your live stream at these shows. You can. You can do something.
Yeah, so they have strict policies. So
yeah, they're very strict about that.
Oh, that, yeah, I forgot. I wouldn't recommend live streaming, but yes, I mean, it is possible to get autographs. I mean, I've been lucky that I've been getting a lot of autographs from famous bodybuilders since
Yeah.
this past year.
Yeah, he says, yeah, the bodybuilders.
Yeah,
Okay.
we figured, yeah.
It says in Greensboro. Okay, Greensboro. That's a good ways. I mean,
nice.
I'm one time one of my friends, we went to visit his cousin. He's still in Greensboro. That's been a long time ago. So, gentlemen, I'm going to. This was suggested to me by Alex, and I'm going to let him have the last word to give his thought on it.
All right.
I think it's best with all that discussion we had today. I think it's best to say this: art is subjective. If you're going to present female muscle in any form of media, just make sure you have to understand the subject matter. Make sure you don't. If it's for entertainment purposes, just make sure it's for entertainment purposes. Make sure it's like after what I've heard about how people get influenced either for the right way or the wrong reasons. Just always remember to think before you act. I mean, just I hope it can continue. Hope this form can continue in any sort of media, and I'm glad some good came. Glad most good came out of this. Just don't take it out of too personally. You know what I mean? When I draw these athletes, I do this out of authenticity and respect. I do a lot of research when it comes to studying each muscle in the body and make sure stay as accurate as possible. But I'm actually glad another meeting. I'm glad they're continuing for the entertainment reason, and I hope it continues in a positive light in the future.
All right. Okay. So, any other gentlemen have any thoughts on the subject or your experiences on women in muscle and animation?
Not really. Just for entertainment purposes. That's it. Nothing more.
And my man KL the Wonder, I know you talk about subject too. So
Yeah, I've always been a fan of the two, like women with muscles, like animation. I mean, that's why I covered it at times. Yeah, I mean, art is subjective. I mean, it depends on the person. You don't know what's behind the art. Like I was watching that documentary about the dude that created Ren and Stimpy, and I later found out that this dude he kind of they didn't go into detail about it, but it was like a sexual abuse thing with him and his other protege that he had. It was this girl, and the girl was admiring his work, and so she became she wanted to be a student under the guy that I forgot his name, Jimmy K and stuff, but he took her under her wing, and there was a lot going on there. And then there was another girl that he was involved with. It was to a point where she kind of separated herself from him. She where I'm going with it, it's you don't know where the person's mind at when they drawing these things. So I mean, yeah, art is subjective, but if you're gonna make art that's lustful and stuff, it's gonna be like that. If you're gonna make it out of respect, I'm not mad at you. But that's all I gotta say. With me, I sometimes it was more of lustful, and that's why I don't really draw too much on it, and just like muscle worshiping, So yeah.
we have here a couple comments from our man Jeff. He says this. He says, "See you next week. I think we should do something like this with America 250." I don't know what you think of that. Yeah. Also, he says, and be safe on the internet with looking at the stuff. All right. He says, I would like to see the more animation. Yeah. Well, again, yeah, appreciate that, brother. Be safe out there. So, gentlemen, this is, swinging out a few more days left of June. Can you believe it? July's just around the corner.
Man, it's going by fast.
I mean, no shows coming up until it's going to be the Portugal Pro. That's going to be the 5th. That's Sunday because they, different days.
The Chi-Town Pro is going to be 3 weeks away, and Chi-Town Pro. That sounds awesome right now. But anyway,
yeah. So I appreciate you guys, and I thank y'all again for coming through.
All right, man. See y'all next week.
See you next week. Folks, I'd like to thank my guests, my man KL the Wanderer, Alex here, Josh, Women of Freedom Bodybuilding Empire Nation. Also, shout out to Jeff came through, BC Royce, Emmanuel. Also, whoever watched this video, who comments, subscribe, support our content, and we appreciate your support. So I hope y'all enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. It's your Honorable George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk. Don't subscribe. I'm out. Good night. Good luck. God